Welcome to Living with Sunny. Thomas Power and me, Sunny Singh, are exploring conversations with people all over the world who have a story of well-being to share with us. I'm seeking holistic well-being with them, and I want to share those stories with you. Welcome to Living with Sunny.
Can you explain to us, first of all, what you mean when you say holistic well-being?
For me, holistic well-being is just the phrase or the two words describe holistic and well-being. So holistic means it is complete, it is whole. And for that, what we mean by that is physical, emotional, mental, social, spiritual, if you're so inclined, financial, professional, planetary, societal well-being. So it is holistic. And well-being means the being well. So holistic well-being means addressing all elements of well-being as a whole individual.
Wow. So we're talking about the whole planet, every aspect of your life, every aspect of your family, every aspect of your work. By holistic, you mean every single aspect of your whole life.
Absolutely. And how does that whole individual exist in this world? So it starts with you, or from within you. So get to know yourself and you, and take care of you from a well-being perspective. And then comes the next layer, your family, then your social tribe, then the community you live in, the society you live in, and humanity at large on the planet that we live on. So it starts from you and is interconnected to everything in the world, including the planet. So it is holistic, both from an individual and an ecosystem cosmic point of view.
Okay, and when you talk about the planet is a big topic right now because we have various sort of doomsday scenarios presented to us, or dystopian scenarios presented to us by various people around the world, telling us that we're all going to burn or drown or freeze in the next few years, which is quite distressing for the next generation. And it's quite distressing for the current generation. And I go into schools and universities and I listen to children saying they don't want to do their exams anymore. They don't want to complete their course material anymore because the world's going to be destroyed in the next, however long it is, a decade, 30 years. How do you position holistic well-being in relation to this planetary doomsday climate plan?
Yes, if you look at what's happening to our planet, and especially in these COVID years, we realized that during the last 2 years, the world has calmed down in a number of ways when it comes to the planet. You see wildlife coming back. You see whales go closer and more visible, because when ships are going around, you don't see a lot of those fish and whales happening across the world. There was a documentary that came up recently where they're showing the wildlife coming back into the cities and into empty, lodges and stuff like that. So in a way, in the last 2 years of COVID, I hope what humanity has learned that it is important to calm down and slow down and not be in a constant rat race and chase of everything. Because every time we are running fast, we might be disturbing the equilibrium of the world we live in. So when you look at the planetary well-being and we start thinking about it, and we do a very simple connection, that what's happening to the planet is happening to us. Again, what's happening to the planet is happening to us, because this is how we survive. If there was no planet, there would be no humanity.
So in many ways, the COVID experience has been a blessing in disguise, like a lesson. As you say, the wildlife are coming back. We saw the dolphins coming back in Venice because of no cruise ships. And this, are we going to be encouraged to just stay on Zoom or Teams and not travel and stay local, not get on planes? grow all our own food, drive an electric vehicle, just stay at home and live on Zoom? Is that where we're heading?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. You know, the nature threw us a curveball called COVID. We got a lemon. We got to make lemonade out of it. Let's not this become a wasted opportunity. Learn from it and better ourselves, better how we live, better how we take care of our planet. I will never advocate sitting in a house in isolation, zooming in and out, you know, one session to the other. That's not what life is. Life is interaction. Well-being is interaction. Well-being is getting to know people, meeting people, talking to them, taking care of the planet, and so on and so forth. So I'm not advocating the life that we've been living the last 2 years, but it's a reminder of what we could be doing wrong and what we are doing wrong. And let's take that as a learning opportunity and course correct our lives. And like I said, if the planet is destroyed, we are destroying ourselves. If we just kind of take that narrative in our mind and repeat it every day in the morning, that we are off the planet. You destroy the planet, you're destroying yourselves, you're destroying the next generation. Who wants to destroy? Does anybody want to destroy their kids? I don't think so. We are destroying our kids by destroying the planet. They are home of the future. We are destroying the future home. How is that acceptable to any parent? I can't understand. I simply can't fathom that.
So let's dig into this. You talked about the wildlife coming back. Now you've got this Sustain initiative, the Round Glass Sustain initiative, which I personally have found very appealing. Reading, looking at, watching the videos, looking at the images, seeing the stories around that. Where does the Round Glass Sustain initiative fit in relation to holistic well-being? What's the link between those two things?
Firstly, sustain or sustainability is a huge component or a pillar of well-being or holistic well-being, number one. Number two, if you look at the Round Glass Sustain initiative, what we said was, look, India is one of the most biodiverse countries in the world. And Indians do not know about it, or if they know, they're not proud about it, or if they're not proud, they won't fall in love with it. If they don't fall in love with it, they will not protect it. So my intent was that how about we make a country of 1.3 billion people fall in love with their biodiversity, just fall in love with their biodiversity. And we're doing that by creating an educative, entertaining way of telling great stories about the habitat, about the species, about the forest, about the parks, about the people working there and the people protecting there and everything around it. And the stories are absolutely beautiful. And I want every Indian and then eventually people in the world who want to experience the biodiversity of India to be able to go to one place and find everything that they can enjoy when they go to India when it comes to the biodiversity. And not only let the 1.3 billion people fall in love with what they already have and therefore protect it and grow it and nurture it. And that's Round Glass Sustain. Now that initiative can be done in any country, any state in the world, any city in the world, if there is a Round Glass or a Sunny Singh sitting over there saying, hey, I want to do this for my village or my city, and I want to showcase about, you can do it on a smaller scale. We're just doing for a country. And this is one way of us giving back to humanity as one of our social initiatives within our company, which we believe that every company must take one or more social initiatives, impact-driven initiatives, and take ownership of it and give it a long horizon of time to absolutely solve it and take care of that problem.
So let's talk about gut health and how it affects your mind, your mood, your sleep, your ability to work, love, take care of people. What angle are you taking in terms of the Indian cuisine, the Indian diet in relation to gut health and how it affects your mind and body?
So I'm no gut health expert, but I'll tell you what my philosophy around food is. And I don't like to use the word diet because for me it's a negative connotation. Food should have a positive connotation. It should have a positive impact, feeling, resonance, etc. So when it comes to food, and I'll go to Indian food, when it comes to food, again, when we eat, what we eat, we should be always in the now when we are eating, and we should eat slowly. That being said, I eat, for example, organic food, seasonal food, local if possible, as less from packages as possible, etc. What I find about Indian food is that one of the gifts India can give to the world is showing the world how to eat vegetarian. Because when I eat Indian food, I have so much variety of stuff I can eat that I don't crave anything non-vegetarian. And on top of that, I eat gluten-free and dairy-free as often as I can because my body likes it. So I listen to my body when I eat. When I eat in the now and slowly, my body tells me, am I getting full? Is that food resonating with me? Literally, because when I had the first 3 bites of my meal, I pretty much know, is this food really, fulfilling my soul or not? And if it's
I
not,
like that phrase. Is this food resonating with me? That's powerful.
and if I feel that this food is simply not giving me what I want, I won't finish that meal.
What age were you, Sonny, when you discovered that your body was talking to you? That it was saying, I like this food, I don't like this, avoid this, give me more of that. When did that breakthrough happen for you?
So, I've always had I would say, privilege and the good fortune of having really good food most of my life, if not all my life. My mom, who basically lived for the kids, she was a great cook. The food was made with love. And we had, I believe, the tastiest food, made for us for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at home growing up. At the age of 40, I was working very hard in my first startup, EdFX. And at around 40, my body started kind of feeling, it was rattling, it felt like a clunker. I said, how is this? I'm only 40 years old. I'm athletic. Why is my body giving up on me? And I started, in a way, my re-journey or the journey of well-being. And food became a very essential component of that. Everything from detoxing, what was I eating, portion control, listening to my body, how my body was reacting to the food, the kind of food I was eating, getting into organic food, getting into local stuff, cooking a lot versus eating out, not eating a lot of the food I would otherwise eat. I would go to burger joints and stuff like that. I don't remember the last time I've gone to a burger joint to have a burger. I've had burgers, but they have been homemade predominantly. So I don't remember the last time I went to a pizza joint and has a pizza over there, right? That's like a rare occasion. Whereas at that time it was, yeah, why not? I don't have enough time. I got 2 minutes. Let's go grab a burger from one of the burger chains. And so the habit started intensifying at the age of 40. And every week, every month, every year was great learning. And so what comes to me naturally today is not because somehow I'm better than anybody else. It's just because I gave it time. I tried it. I put a lot of effort behind it, understood it. And what comes naturally to me nowadays will be very difficult for a lot of people to do because I've just been habituated with it. I have formed those habits.
So obviously, now that you're almost 90, that was obviously a great event when you were 40, because you look so incredible on that change at 40 with no burgers and no pizzas.
Thomas, your compliments are always very well taken by me.
So with this physical well-being in holistic well-being, you talk about the physical well-being, the professional well-being, the planetary well-being, the financial well-being, all of these different aspects. But on the physical side, you talk about the link between the food, the exercise, the movement, and the sleep, and the importance of sleep and the importance of exercise in relation to food. What's the connection you see between the food, the physical exercise, and the sleep? How are those three things related?
In a way, every element of well-being is related, but let's talk about food and sleep and the physical part. Think about this. Every time you overeat, how do you feel? Even if the food was most delicious. The deliciousness of the food gets lost when you overeat. Because when the food is really good, you say, let me just eat, I'm loving the food so much, let me have some more. And before you know it, saying, oh my God, why did I eat so much? So why do you want to lose that joy and love you just experienced? Just eat to the right amount. And if you eat in the now, eat slowly, you'll never overeat. And if you never overeat and your stomach is a little bit empty, and on top of the food is really good, it's a feeling that goes on for a while. Your body feels good, your mind feels good, you feel joyful. When it comes to the sleep part of it, people, we sleep between some 6, some 7, some 8, maybe some less, some more, but we sleep a good number of hours every day. Yet, unlike we prepare our bodies for physical exercise, or we prepare ourselves for breakfast or work or whatever, we never prepare ourselves for sleep. If you prepare yourself for sleep, if you know how to go to sleep, And when you wake up, how do you wake up? And the kind of things that you do before and after will lead to a better sleep. And there are techniques and there are things you can do to make that happen, right? The bed you sleep on, the pillows that you use, what sheets do you use? What pajamas do you use? And I can go on and on and on, pre, during, and post, that you can make these incremental changes and your 8 hours of sleep will be equivalent to 12 hours of sleep. I love that.
Wow.
I love that.
And we know the statistics around 700,000 suicides a year, one every 40 seconds. Tragic, and many young people amongst that statistic. And the battles that we all have in our head, these referred to as self-talk, but this internal dialogue or conversation we all have in our head. How do you balance the holistic well-being with the self-talk, with suicide prevention? Because that's a complex cocktail that you have to be very sensitive and delicate with, because who knows what's really going on in people's minds. How do you bring all that together?
So again, I find it so beautiful that I look at the issue on hand, suicides, and I look at the root cause or the root solution. And for me, the root solution is holistic well-being. If people are living a life of holistic well-being, if kids are taught holistic well-being, if kids grow up with holistic well-being, just like they grow up eating breakfast every day, going to sleep every night, going to school, these are all things you do. But if they're also incorporating holistic well-being in their life, I believe that suicide or the level of suicide being committed nowadays, the causes and the reasons will all disappear. Let me expand upon that. When you're living in the life of holistic well-being, you are focusing on the inner me, discovering myself. Because at the end of the day, the human being has a lot of potential. We have to unleash that potential that drowns our tendency to feel suicidal. The joy will be a tsunami that will drown the tendencies of mental unrest. Not only that, Thomas, now let's tie this to societal well-being, that I care for my social tribe and I care about society. That means when I'm talking to you, I'm only talking to you. I'm looking into your eyes. I'm looking at your expressions. I'm looking at your words. And in such a way that you want to open up more and more with me because I'm paying my full attention to you. I'm here for you. Imagine every parent is there for the child when the child is talking to them, fully present. Year after year after year. Or they're talking to a spouse, talking to their parents, talking to their friends. Oh, by the way, I interact with people in my office. I have people who come and work in my house. My landscaper, am I connected to them? They are society for me. I have my family, my social tribe, and my societal tribe. Am I connected and reading and looking at them and looking at their joy and their pain and the words? Have I asked them, how are you doing? And instead of walking away and saying, good, you're saying, hold on, I want to ask you the next question. Hey, you look a bit tired today. Oh, you look happy today. Hey, you look a bit, it's like, your clothes are looking very different. What's that? You get to know the people you interact with. Give them some time. Give them some time in your life to them. Once everybody starts doing that, guess what? Everybody gets heard. Everybody gets validated. And if you put this in the context of holistic well-being, why would then somebody like to commit suicide? And if they are, or they have the tendency to do so, we'll catch them first. I'll give you a very small example. In the foundation work we're doing in Punjab farmers, we are reaching about 1,000 villages. I have asked my team, there will be no farmer suicide in the villages that we are working in. We are reaching 1,000 already. We're going to reach all the 12,571 villages in Punjab. There will be no farmer suicide. I said, make it happen. And the way to make it happen is get connected. Tell the farmers, you have an issue, come talk to us. We'll figure out your pain. We'll understand it. We'll find solutions. If we can do that with the farmers in Punjab where suicides are common, farmer suicides are common, we are tackling the problem by getting connected with them. I believe that holistic well-being is the answer to the problem of suicides. Lock, stock, and barrel, full stop.
So, Sonny, one of the things that intrigues me is I started working with you on May the 7th of this year. And I remember that day very well because that was my first meeting, and I was thinking, who is this chap? And as you know, I've worked with lots of successful entrepreneurs around the world in the last 30 years. And you were the person who intrigued me the most because you weren't selling software, or you weren't selling IT, or you weren't selling a machine, or you were pursuing this well-being path, this wellness path, this mindful path. And I wanted to ask you, where has this need or profile come from, that you are this great seeker, if you like, of well-being? Where's the energy come from? Has it come from a message from God? Has it come from pain? Where did you get this desire to lead the conversation on well-being?
I think that's a very good question. I don't think there's a simple answer to this. One is that I believe that everything in my life I've done has been to prepare me for what I'm doing now, which is holistic well-being, democratizing holistic well-being for the world, for humanity. And I believe that in a way, all these ideas that come to me, Thomas, I think that I'm a conduit for these messages. Nature is sending these things into my mind and saying, Sonny, think about this, talk about this, do this. Because I have no idea where all of these things come from. And people have asked me, Sonny, how does all of these ideas come into you? What are you reading? What are you thinking? What are you doing? I said, I know that they just keep coming. And also,
so this is like the old generations are sending it down through the cloud into so you're the mouthpiece for former generations. Is that right?
Probably yes. And my own journey of life has been, in a way, very meditative one. All the ups and downs. I've been very fortunate overall. The nature has been kind to me. Life has been very good to me. But I have gone through a lot of ups and downs, and I've taken every time I've experienced adversity, it has grown me. It has somehow I got the courage to deal, confront with it, and overcome it. Perseverance became my DNA. Resilience was my DNA, and therefore I found that strength. Howsoever I got the strength to persevere through it and grow from it. And so I've gone through a lot in life, but I don't look back and regret it, complain about it. I said, wow, it only made me stronger. I like the guy I see in the mirror.
What's hard to deal with when you think about holistic well-being, because it's hard to get your head round what it is and how to be it or live it or do it, is in my world, where I'm talking to tech people all the time in Silicon Valley, and they talk about AI is more powerful than fire. And I think, okay, so what does that mean? Or they talk about blockchain is the future of money. Or they talk about it's all about climate and green technology and clean technology. And then you come in from the side with holistic well-being. And I think AI, blockchain, climate, ABC. And then I jump to Sunny and it's W. And I think there must be a burning desire inside you to carry this message, whether it's from your ancestors, your mother, your father. Where does that burning desire come from? Where's the energy coming from to get these ideas, these initiatives, this global movement? Because it's very special to be on the end of.
I believe that to whom X is given because 100X is expected from them to give back to the world. And so I believe that if the world has given me certain kind of resources, I should take those resources and put a multiplier effect on it and give back to society. So for me, this is about giving back. This is about doing something that I can. And, very often and most of the time, we get lost in the race and the chase of the next best thing. The next best thing in today's world is the next title, the next promotion, the next house, the next car, the next million, the next billion. For me, it is like, honestly, Are you kidding me? Right? Because there is no end to that next. And if there's no end to something, how are you enjoying it? Because you're just after the next. And I'm saying, I'm into the now. I'm into saying, how can people thrive, be happy, be joyful, yet start a business, thrive in a business, make $1 million, make $1 billion. That's a collateral benefit. That's a byproduct of doing something so special, so good, so soulful, so noble, so pure that everything else just comes. Yes, we enjoy it, but we come back to what is really, really meaningful in our lives. This conversation, talking to you, the family, your parents, your friends. This is what, at the end of the day, you don't think about how much hard you work that day. It's like, what are the memories of the day that really I want to carry with me, that I think about? So I will never tell people, stop doing what you're doing. I will say, figure out why you're doing what you're doing. And is that giving you innate joy? And if not, do things that give you the innate joy. Everything else will follow. Everything else will follow. Make sure that you're having a lot of fun doing things and doing it for the right reasons. And by the way, carry somebody with you.
You feel like you've been bestowed upon with these resources, with these talents, with these skills. You've been a very successful entrepreneur, and you feel as a result of that success, you've multiplied it by 100 times. You've got kind of a duty or responsibility to give back, because you've been given these resources, but equally you've been given these resources because of your talents and skills in business, and you've been rewarded for those talents, and now you're multiplying those by X, and you feel a sense of duty and responsibility to complete this before you move on to the next place.
In my entire business career, entrepreneurship career, I never got up a single day in my life or during my business career thinking about money and how much money I want to make. Never. I did things that I believed were the right things to do. I did things because it was my belief system. I strongly believed in doing a business of a certain kind, the things I do in business. When we had downturns, I carried everybody with me. I was the last to eat. I was the last to take a paycheck. I was the last guy in the queue, always. Because for me, making the right decisions in the interest of our customers, in the interest of my people, was more important than putting things that are just right for me. And so my cut was always like that. I was always thinking, behaving, doing like that. It just so happens that now I'm a bit more fortunate in having more resources, a lot more experience, and much more clarity in my thinking to put into something what I call holistic well-being for humanity. And so the focus has now become this. The call, the cause, the calling, the reason I get up in the morning has become this. What I do, I love it so much. It's a pursuit of love. My first company was a pursuit of passion. This is a pursuit of love. And when you're pursuing love, how can that be work, right?
But this thing about having a W in front of holistic, like the kids say to me, and they're all in their mid-20s, they say to me, why does Sonny have a W in front of holistic when holistic starts with an H? And so why is it holistic with a W, not holistic with an H?
The HOLI seems like there's a hole in something, whereas the WHO means it is whole.
Oh.
So for me, the whole with the W signifies the concept of holistic well-being, the holistic self, the individual whole, the planetary whole, versus the HOL, which is, hey, there's a gap. So just the word itself just seemed right. Holistic well-being with the W just seemed the right word and the right phrase to me.